Okay, so I believe this is going to be my ZCube order, or ZCube. Let's open this up. So this came to me really quickly. I think maybe it only took about 5 or 6 days. So I totally wasn't expecting it today. So inside we have, that's interesting, 2 yellow mesh cube bags. I only ordered one. Let's see. So these are like the right size for, you know, your regular sized 7x7s. Then we have a red bag, which is the correct size for like your regular sized 9x9. Blue mesh bag, which again is for a 9x9. Some Moyu stands. So this is a 3x3 Twisty Cube. A Dayan Tangram Extreme. And a Dayan 4-axis Skewb or Professor Skewb. Oh, and we've got some stickers as well. So these will be for both the Dayan puzzles, and we've got an invoice. Okay, so first let's take a quick look at the cube bags. So these two are for like your regular size 7x7. Now I ordered one in yellow and another one in green. Unfortunately they've given me another yellow one instead of a green one, but it's not a big deal, to be honest. I mean, these are really cheap anyway. And then we've got 2 mesh cube bags for your regular sized 9x9. Let's just see what it looks like inside. Give you a close-up look. So yeah, they do feel like nice quality. And I've got these Moyu stands. So you might be able to see some Chinese writing there. And there it says moyucube.com. Yeah, these were unbelievably cheap, about 8 cents each. And I think 8 cents is about the equivalent of 6p maybe. So I've got one in orange, yellow, blue, red and green. Okay, so quickly I'll put a Dayan Tangram next to the cube bags just so you get a decent idea of their sizes. So that's the 7x7 bag. And that is the 9x9 bag. So let's take a look at this Twisty Cube. So I really like the design of the packaging. It's kind of got like an old school look to it. There it says finger motion, 360 rotate, decompression. Not really sure what that means. And there it says the difficulty, and it's got 3 out of 5 stars. And you've got some stuff on the bottom. Let's open this. So here it is, and that looks really cool. So the shades, I guess, are what you'd call candy colours. And let's see how this turns. A little bit awkward to finger trick it because of the shape, but yeah, it seems to turn just fine. Let's try the sexy move on it. Yeah, it's quite difficult to perform this just because of the shape. So I think a lot of people will probably have a hard time trying to speed cube with this just because of the shape. Let's see the corner cutting. Am I doing it in the right spot? Yep. So the corner cutting isn't that great. And a bit of the cap popped off, so yeah, corner cutting isn't that great at all. Let's see what the pieces look like. So there's a corner, and there is an edge. The car seems to look quite small. I don't know if it's like a regular sized 3x3 car. Kind of looks as though it might be smaller. I'm not really sure. Alright, so let's see how this looks in the checkerboard pattern. I think I've done that right. So yeah, that looks quite cool. Let's get it. Actually, no point in putting it back to its solid state because I'm going to scramble it, so let's do that. So yeah, of course this is going to shapeshift. So yeah, that is a scrambled Twisty 3x3. So yeah, to be honest, I don't think this is going to be difficult to solve at all. Probably just a tiny bit more difficult than a regular 3x3 just because some of the centres have orientation. Alright, so let's take a look at the Tangram Extreme. There's a picture of it. So let's open this. So I've wanted one of these in dark clear blue for a really long time. I saw one on the Twisted Puzzles forum probably around a year ago, and asked the guy where he got it from, and I didn't really understand his reply properly. I think it's, you know, like the Chinese to English translation, so I wasn't really sure where he got it from. But yeah, so basically I just held out for one of these in dark blue. That's why, you know, I think it was only available in like stickless and black plastic, and I thought I'll just hold out and hopefully one day I will find one of these. Could never find one though, and then recently I saw that ZCube had these in stock, so I'm guessing maybe these are being mass produced now. And there it is. So before I show any more of this, I'm going to sticker it. But before I go away and sticker it, I'm going to show you the other Dayan puzzle. So this is the Professor Skewb, and it's also known as the 4-axis Skewb 7x7. So there's a picture of it. Let's open this up. So this is in clear blue. I'm not sure if in clear blue they are limited editions or not. It didn't say on ZCube. That is a really, really light blue. So yeah, these are supposed to not turn that well, to be honest. Give you a close-up look at it. So there it is. I think maybe these have 7 layers, and it's got like trivial tips. So I think the trivial tips are classed as a layer. Whether they should be classed as layers or not, I'm not really sure, because like I said, the trivial, they don't really add anything to the solve at all. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away, sticker this, and then I'll come back. Okay, so these two puzzles have now been stickered, but I do just want to quickly mention one thing about this Twisty 3x3 and the yellow cube bag first. Basically, I went onto ZCube where they're selling these bags. I went onto the page where they're selling these bags, and they didn't have the green one up as an option anymore. So obviously, when I chose the green one, ZCube discovered that they were out of stock, and they sent me a yellow one instead of the green one. So that's why I've got 2 yellow ones instead of a yellow one and a green one. The Twisty 3x3, I've discovered that if you try doing the corner cutting with one of these normal faces facing you, it's actually pretty good. It's actually much better than when you try corner cutting this way. So obviously the reason why the corner cutting isn't good when you try and do it this way, is it must just be down to the shapes of the pieces. Okay, so now onto these two puzzles. So I'll show you the Tangram Extreme first. So let's compare this with the normal Tangram. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, so we can see that these two bits are the same, these bits are the same, these bits, but then this bit on here, it's split into two pieces, and then this big piece on here, it's split into 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. So this does actually shapeshift, and I think it looks really nice in a dark clear blue. So when I look at this in artificial light when it's night time, it almost looks like a black puzzle. It's very difficult to tell that it's actually clear blue plastic, but when you see it in the natural light, the clear blue plastic, it just stands out a lot more and it looks really good. So yeah, let's see how this turns. So that is absolutely fine. Let's try another layer. Kind of catchy, but it's not actually locking up or anything, so I can live with that. So yeah, there's only one thing left to do, and that is to scramble this. So I'll try and scramble it without shapeshifting first. I think that should be possible. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, it seems quite difficult to kind of scramble up all the colours without doing any shapeshifting. Let's just start doing some shapeshifting. So let's see. So yeah, I don't have any experience with this cube, so I don't know exactly where to turn the layers so I can do shapeshifting. Let's see. Okay, this is starting to look pretty crazy now. It's quite difficult scrambling this. It's difficult knowing exactly what kind of turns I need to make to shapeshift this puzzle. Now you can see we've got this little triangular piece sticking out there. That's quite cool. You know something, I'm just going to leave it there. It can obviously get a lot more scrambled than what it is now. But yeah, so that is a scrambled Dayan Tangram Extreme in a clear dark blue plastic. Okay, so let's take a look at the, what's it called? I think it's called 4-axis 7-rank Skewb. It's also known as a Professor Skewb. So here it is. So yeah, this doesn't turn the best at all. At first I thought this had like 7 layers, so you've got your trivial tip, which I think is classed as a layer. Then like this looks like a layer, this does, this does, this does, this does, and this does. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But it doesn't actually have 7 layers. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I have scrambled this with just doing Skewb moves, and I was able to solve it just like a Skewb. And I also scrambled this with just Dino moves, and it solves exactly like a Curvy Dino. So basically, if you combined a Curvy Dino with a Skewb and you added 8 trivial tips, this is the exact puzzle that you'd get. Oh, you'd have to obviously turn the curvy cuts into straight ones as well. So I'll show you what the turning is like. Now sometimes it doesn't turn too bad, but then other times it just like really locks up, like what it was doing then. And the turning does feel really rough, like it's kind of scraping and catching and whatever. The trivial tips themselves, they turn perfectly fine. And when you do the Skewb turns on it, they do seem to be better than the Dino turns, but they're still not brilliant. As you can see, it's catching there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scramble it, but first I'll just do Skewb moves so you can see how it is just like a Skewb. So as I'm scrambling this like a Skewb, it will become evident that there's a Skewb in this puzzle, if you know what I mean. So now you can probably recognise that there's a Skewb there in the puzzle. I don't know why I'm turning this one as well. So let's actually turn the trivial tips. Trivial tips, they're pretty much pointless because they don't add anything to the solve, but they do give the puzzle a bit more of a scrambled look, you know, if you scramble them. Right, let's start doing some Dino turns. Start doing some Skewb turns again. So I've got no idea whether this is going to be a difficult puzzle or not to solve. I mean, for me, solving a Skewb is really easy. Solving a Curvy Dino is really easy. But solving a puzzle which is a combination of both, I really don't know whether it will be difficult or easy, to be honest. I mean, I think, you know, the more I use this, the more the turning has improved, because the turning doesn't seem as bad right now as what it was in that video that I made where I demonstrated the turning. This has popped twice before, and it's just a combination of like the puzzle being kind of loose and like the pieces catching on each other. So I guess that'll do. So that is a scrambled 4-axis rank 7 Skewb, or Professor Skewb. So yeah, so from ZCube I got a Twisty 3x3, a Dayan Tangram Extreme in clear blue, dark clear blue plastic, a Dayan 4-axis 7 rank Skewb in clear blue plastic, and it's a really light clear blue. I also got 5 of these Moyu stands and two 7x7 bags and 2 9x9 bags. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Thanks for watching.